Tonight's gala celebrates the intellectual property, the IP, at the heart of the innovation that fuels our world. That's why we're here for the IP Champions Award Gala. We're talking, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, about the patents that are at the foundation of the latest life-saving medicines and treatments, the trademarks that represent the world's most trusted brands and brand logos, the trade secrets that hold on to the recipes for our favorite sodas, or the ones that make our most efficient businesses thrive and grow, the copyrights that put our favorite songs on repeat. And you're going to hear some of those favorite songs live tonight. IP protections provide security and freedom for consumers and businesses alike. And they spur an innovative economy that is valued in the trillions, nearly 6 trillion to be exact. We're talking over 1/3 of the United States GDP. We're talking over 45 million American jobs in 81 different industries in virtually every county in every one of the 50 states. Tonight we're celebrating IP protections, yes, but more importantly, we're celebrating the people that have run with them and created things that we cherish. We're honoring so many amazing men and women tonight, from government employees to members of Congress to rock stars to scientists. Did I mention rock stars? Yeah! We've got some honest-to-God rock stars tonight. These are the minds that keep flowing the constant stream of new ideas, new art, new technology. And I'm excited to share with you tonight our awardees' accomplishments this evening.
Thanks, James. Hey, guys, yeah, I'm Ray Cairns. I work at Bayer. You may know us for our aspirin. No commercials here. We have a logo up on the wall. It's all you need to see. I'm also a member of the Global Intellectual Property Center board and have been so for the last few years. IP is at the epicenter for everything that Bayer does across all of our multiple divisions. And it's an absolute pleasure to be with you here tonight. You know, we're celebrating innovation. We're celebrating creating ideas that come to life every day, and the idea that IP and the drivers behind IP and the protections that we need in place to protect our companies and our industries. All of us have something very in common, which is the importance of IP. We know it, we wouldn't be here otherwise. So we're fortunate to have such a diverse group of members of Congress in both the House and the Senate who for years have been working with us to make sure those protections are in place. Because at the end of the day, we know we're talking about one very important thing, which is jobs. IP equals jobs, and we know that for an absolute fact. And so tonight, I'm having the honor of introducing our congressional IP champion, and you all know his name. He's actually graced us before here in the chamber multiple times, but also during the multiple Gypsy meetings. Chairman Hatch has long been an advocate and fierce fighter for IP protections for America, for creators of innovation, and for most recently, he championed the bipartisan Defend Trade Services Act 2016, which, as you all know, President Obama signed into law earlier this year. What was that noise? Anyway, in a world where nations and companies have sought to undermine our IP protection, and we've all been a part of that, Chairman Hatch has been an outspoken supporter for all of us and the need for reasonable and effective IP property protections in multiple trade agreements throughout the years. Senator Hatch, on behalf of all the creators, innovators, and inventors, we say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our heart for standing up for IP rights for Americans, and especially, as James said earlier, for more than 45 million jobs that support IP in this country. Senator Hatch.
there. Is that okay? I'll try not to wave my arms. Well, I'm happy to be with all of you, and thank you, Ray, for that kind introduction. I'm really honored to receive the Chamber's award here tonight. This is a very special occasion for me, and I'm very appreciative of you guys. And to win the Congressional IP Champion Award, it means a lot to me. It's also an honor to be among some of the most distinguished practitioners and policy experts in the intellectual property community.
On behalf of Microsoft, I thank the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and this Global IP Center for recognizing and celebrating creativity and innovation through its IP Champions program and tonight's gala. The video we just watched highlights a knowledge gap in terms of women inventors and their contributions. As you saw from the young girls in the video, they really illustrated and drove home the point that you really can't be what you can't see. So Microsoft has long committed to programs and policies to encourage and empower our young girls and women to pursue and succeed in science and technology. Because our young people are our future inventors, they are going to make what's next. So as part of this commitment, what we've done this year is launch a new program called the Make What's Next Patent Program. So in March, which was International Women's Day, we launched a program to celebrate our female inventors and also to encourage our female inventors to develop and patent their ideas. So I'm proud to announce that we have 4 teams of industrious women who participated in the program this year. They worked with our Microsoft Patent Group, who provided pro bono support to them to help them file their patent applications. The 4 teams had some really terrific inventions. One was a mobile diagnostic tool to detect sickle cell anemia made by a team of young women inventors in Uganda. A second invention was a device that provided medical grade examinations for underrepresented children, and this was invented by a young lady medical student in Hyderabad, India. A third invention was a game-style system that was used to identify and help correct bullying tendencies, and this was invented by a multi-gender group of undergraduate students in Greece. And the fourth team invented the first text-to-braille converter that operates in real time, and that was a group of inventors, young female inventor undergraduate students at MIT. So as I said, we're very thrilled to announce that we have filed patent applications for these 4 teams and that we at Microsoft are going to continue to support them through the patent process. So now I'm honored to have accompanying us one of the inventors from the team that invented the real-time text-to-braille converter. Ms. Jolin Shi is a senior at MIT majoring in mechanical engineering. So please join me in welcoming Jolin.
So we created Tactile. It's a device that will allow them to open up to any block of text, say a menu at a restaurant, and they can scan this text and immediately read the Braille translation through our mechanism. So we hope that this will encourage information accessibility for everyone and not just limit that for people who have sight. So while I'm the person here, up here physically helping to accept this award, this work was done by my entire team. It's composed of 6 undergraduate women at MIT, all from various disciplines. So we started this project around half a year ago at a hackathon at MIT. So we basically had 15 hours to create, something from scratch. And it was the craziest 15 hours of my life. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. The lines to the 3D printers were backed up. We couldn't get our code to upload to the microcontroller. Half the motors were broken. It was really crazy. And I go to MIT. We pull all-nighters. There's nothing like that. So things eventually did come together within the last 15 minutes. We were able to take a picture of text and get one single Braille character to show up. That was like amazing moment. Unfortunately, the rate we had going was pretty slow. It was 1 character per second. So if you do some, back of the envelope calculations, you'll realize that it's going to take someone 20 minutes just to read 1 page in a book. So that's not very ideal, but it was good enough for the hackathon. After the hackathon, we didn't really have any plans to continue this project because we didn't know if there was a need for it. But someone put us in contact with our mentor, Paul. So Paul Paravano works as the MIT Director of Community Relations, and he actually lost his vision when he was just 3 years old. So he really, encouraged us to continue this project. He knew the pain points of not being able to access the information around him and needing assistance sometimes. So he really gave our group the motivation and, told us about the big social impact we can make if we made this product. So that really got our entire team motivated to continue. But unfortunately, we were still just a group of undergraduate students working on this, along with our classes as a part-time project. And the issue of how we're going to get ourselves protected came up. I guess a big company can just come and just undo everything we've done. So we were kind of worried about that, and we went to the MIT Patent Office. And the MIT Patent Office basically told us good news and bad news. The good news was that because we were undergraduates, and we didn't use MIT resources to create this, we owned all the rights to what we made. But the bad news is, because we owned all the rights, MIT couldn't really help us get the patent. So we were kind of stuck, we didn't have the expertise to navigate the patent space. It was pretty expensive, and we didn't have the resources for that. So that's when we applied and joined the Microsoft patent program.
Thank you all for coming. I'm sure you're wondering, why is the Hollywood lobbyist going to present an award to a pharmaceutical company? And there are 2 reasons. The first one is that we have the exact same business models. We invest a lot of money into a product that we hope will pay for all the other products that we've invested into as well, those that have failed and have not been able to be successful. And hopefully will provide some incentive for the financial markets to invest more so we can make more movies, and for the pharmaceutical industry that they will have more investments to do more research. That's the first reason. The second reason is more personal. My wife, when she was 13 years old, had a very rare form of leukemia, where only 10% of the people who get it survive. She spent 180 days at Sloan Kettering. And because of the research and development of special drugs that she was given, she survived. And she wanted to be here tonight, but she actually is back in New York, but this time not at Sloan Kettering, but at a Broadway play. So that's the type of research and development that we need to encourage and is protected by strong intellectual property. So I personally want to thank all the researchers in the room from the pharmaceutical companies. I know they take hits all the time, but for me and my wife, my best friend for 28 years, you guys are the best. Which leads me to the word today. We have all seen breast cancer affect someone we love. For me, it was my mom. It's the most common cancer affecting women, and it's the principal cause of cancer-related fatalities in women. Breast cancer, as we all know, is a terrible disease, and dedicated scientists are working towards a cure. Tonight's Medical Innovation Awards honors the hard work of one Pfizer team, whose dedication to the cure has led to a truly breakthrough therapy for the treatment of metastatic breast cancer. The name of the product is Ibrance. Ibrance was given accelerated approval by the FDA because of its incredible potential. But simply put, Pfizer's Ibrance is the embodiment of innovation. Pfizer has translated basic science into groundbreaking new medicine that has already made a meaningful difference in people's lives. Since the FDA approval, over 40,000 women with breast cancer have seen treatment with Ibrance in the US alone. And Ibrance has seen approval in more than 50 countries to date. And while we celebrate Ibrance and its fight against breast cancer, I can assure you that the folks at Pfizer are busy researching and developing the next cutting-edge cancer treatment. As I invite the Pfizer team to the stage, I want to show a quick video that really shares Pfizer's commitment to drug development and innovation for the benefit of patients around the world.
It is a pleasure to be with you tonight. Smooth sailing does not always come with just a thought and an idea, but it has to start there. This room is a reflection of thoughts and ideas that become something wonderful. Intellectual property protection and what the Chamber does and what you're celebrating tonight are the very things that make businesses and make this country the greatest country in the world. Sometimes it's not about what you can make with your hands if it first does not come from the mind that gives the thought and the dream and the ambition to say, what can I do now? If you could not watch that video just a moment ago and see the hope in those young girls' eyes when they found out I can do something, that's what this dinner is about tonight. That's what it's about for me in Congress, is to say what is next and where is that dream coming from. If we don't articulate to the world why intellectual property protection is needed, then we need to examine our dreams and our hopes and ambitions, because that is where it starts. And if you would, raise a glass. May we always live in a country in which the dreams of young inventors like we've seen on this stage are always protected. May their dreams be fostered, and may we be always the country that shines the light that says dreams, ambitions, and hopes are the fuel for the soul and to the hope for tomorrow. Cheers.
All right, thank you. This is such an exciting night as we recognize and celebrate innovators, inventors, and congressional champions of IP. But it's also a great opportunity to recognize those who serve us all by enforcing and protecting those IP rights. Because it's more than the rights of innovators that are at stake, it's the safety of the public. We've all seen the headlines, whether it's batteries or cell phone chargers or the now infamous hoverboards, counterfeit electronics are dangerous. Thousands of counterfeit electronics make their way online and into stores every year, and eventually into consumers' hands. It's a big problem. But fortunately, we have the hardworking people at the National Intellectual Property Rights Coordination Center on our side, and they're doing big things. As our enforcement officers at Homeland Security Investigations, the men and women of the IPR Center work tirelessly to take down counterfeiting criminals and keep consumers safe. The team we're recognizing tonight, in fact, was in pursuit of a large, complex counterfeiting ring for nearly 4 years. And this year, they hit their targets. As part of Operation Apples and Oranges, Homeland Security Investigations' Calexico team, alongside the IRS and the U.S. Postal Service, brought down an operation that was distributing counterfeit electronic parts nationwide. The Calexico team initially conducted 13 seizures of counterfeit electronics, estimated at over $300,000 in value, but that wasn't good enough. They stayed vigilant and on the trail for another 3 years. Now, 36 search warrants, 13 arrests, 13 indictments, and 10 convictions later, the Calexico team has seized more than 55,000 counterfeit items valued at more than $3 million. These numbers are certainly impressive, but more impressive is the countless number of consumers the team has protected from dangerous fakes. Tonight, we honor their dedication, their perseverance, and their public service by recognizing them as 2016 IP champions. So please help me welcome to the stage, accepting the award on behalf of the entire team, National IPR Center Director Bruce Foucault, Case Agent Christiansen Madsen, and Gabrielle Gonzalez of the IPR Center. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Rich, for that, just a few words, for that great recap of the operation that went on. I want to thank the Chamber, specifically Frank and Casey, for being such outstanding partners. We have 23 agencies within the IPR Center, and I like to say if we could have a 24th and it was non-governmental, it would certainly be the Chamber. So thank you so much.
Mr. Mark McGrath of Sugar Ray. Guitarist Billy Morrison, who has played with some of the biggest names in rock and roll, including Billy Idol. And by the way, they're in a group of their own with a bunch of other all-stars that would blow your mind called Royal Machines. And here to moderate this discussion for us tonight, Mr. Eric Huey of the Entertainment Software Association. Please welcome them.
Paid right now?
I think you just earned some royalties.
That's a couple of bucks in the bank.
There you go. Yeah, keep it playing. Hopefully. You can earn while you speak. Good evening, everybody. My name is Eric Huey. I'm the Senior Vice President of the Entertainment Software Association, and we are the trade association for the $23 billion video game industry. It's the magical time of the season of the year for video games, and we're really excited about some new offerings that many of our member companies, including many who are here in the room, like Warner Brothers, Disney, Microsoft, Sony, and others, are going to bring to you. We like to say, and Mike Gallagher, our president and CEO, likes to say, we are changing the interface between mankind and machines, but at the very heart of what we do is intellectual property. So I would like to thank our hosts, the Chamber of Commerce and the Global IP Center, David and Mark and Jared and Frank and Andrew. The work that you guys do is so vitally important, and you're so effective. So thank you very much for tonight and everything that you do in the trenches. It's great work. I want to congratulate the winners of the awards tonight. Some terrific and inspiring work on stage. I would be remiss if I didn't give a special shout out to my dear friend and former law partner in the US IPEC, Danny Marti. Thank you, and thanks for all the work you do. The video game industry is an industry that is uniquely American in its creativity. We're talking about creativity and innovation, and there is something uniquely American and occasionally British about innovating and about creativity. And I want to get to the heart of that, because our industry relies and runs on IP. People think of us as a Silicon Valley or a Hollywood-based industry, or maybe Austin, Texas, or Seattle, but we are 2,400 different video game companies in in almost 3,000 different locations throughout the U.S. We're in 86% of congressional districts, and intellectual property is the key to what we do. But prior to joining ESA, I was a partner in a law firm, and I represented Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA, both of your unions, as well as the Creative Coalition and the Recording Artists Coalition. And it's great to see Robin Bronk here, and the Creative Coalition does such great First Amendment work and IP work, as well as arts education. But what really brought it home to me, the importance of IP, was representing the talent side of the music industry and the movie industry, and hearing the stories from people who rely on intellectual property, who rely on residuals, who rely on those checks. We're fortunate to have two fantastic, amazing, accomplished musicians who are true multi-hyphenates. I'll skip the official intros and just get right to the rock and roll. But I will say we got Mark McGrath. You know him from Sugar Ray, their 1997 hit Fly is it's still ubiquitous. That's one of the best earworms I've ever heard. What a great song.
You know, we were blessed with the artistic muse, and people responded. So really got lucky on that one. But Eric, I'd be remiss if I didn't include some of my acting work in Sharknado 2 and 3, thank you, as well as Joe Dirt 2. So I just want to, that's intellectual property too, right? So it's all wrapped in a bubble. So.
That was your Lee Strasberg method acting
That was,
phase?
but I was getting in the way of Daniel Day-Lewis's work, and I'm not trying to take food out of anybody's mouth. But yes, been very fortunate, Eric, and thank you all for having Billy and I here tonight. This is truly an honor we're here to be educated. You know, we're voices. I've been on the peripheral for a while of what intellectual property is, what does it mean to me. You know, a lot of times you think of intellectual property, and you hear intellectual, and your eyes glaze over. You know what I mean? You're like, all right, I'm out. You know, I went to University of Southern California, so I tap out real quickly. But when you say property, now you pique people's interest. Now, whether it's video games or music, we are losing the value of that. Why? Can someone in this room tell me? I mean, why should the #1 song I co-wrote in 1997 be free now? Or why should someone make billions of dollars off the sweat equity we did years ago? So I'm honored to be here tonight to learn and hear from all of you and what I can do and go back to LA and talk to some of our friends and get a real discussion going and move forward. Not just have some drinks, have some fun tonight, but what can I do tomorrow at 9 a.m. to protect our intellectual property rights?
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Absolutely. It's so important. Billy Morrison, you've played on some of the best albums ever recorded. You've written so many songs. You wrote almost the entire new Billy Idol album.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about, everybody hears the stories about how you got into rock and roll, and that's great, we want to hear that, but how do you stay in rock and roll, and how do you, as a working musician, piece together a career where you have a number of different verticals, and how's IP protection at the center?
Well, the number of different verticals has come about recently. When Mark and I first started making music, you know, Mark's absolutely correct, is the term intellectual property was not a term in my lexicon. When I was 10 and learning guitar, I didn't want to know about intellectual property. It was like a foreign language to me, and lawyers and all of that stuff. I just wanted to make a noise and get away from my parents. and that's the fundamental basis of most great songs. They're just written like that. And as Mark eloquently said, when you make a bit of money, suddenly you decide you need to get real smart real quick. But one of my bugbears is that we are not encouraged still to be creatives at school. It's starting to get better, but no one is educated about intellectual property. No wonder the kid sits at home on his computer and downloads songs for free, because no one's really told him it's wrong. Mm-hmm. We grow up in a computer age where it seems so easy to be FaceTiming with your bird, and then you go, oh, I like Sugar Ray, I'm going to get that song. And it doesn't cross their minds that they're taking so much away, not only from Mark and the band, or me and my band, but from the people who work in our industry. So the verticals have sprung up for us out of a case of necessity. Because back then, you were in a band, you sang the songs, you went on tour, you earned some money. Now, you have to fly to Washington, D.C. and come and, you know, talk to people, and you go and do Sharknado. Sharknado 3, by the way, killer. Amazing. Thank you. Some of your best work right there. But, you know, I've done acting, I paint fine art, I've written TV and movie stuff. You are forced to spread out because you're not going to earn money. You know, I gave an interview just now. I wrote that Billy Idol album with Billy and Steve that charted very nicely in the Billboard charts. And, you know, we went around the world a couple of times. And people think that you buy a new house off of that. And these days, that's just not true. Mm-hmm. You know, because so much of the buzz about that album, people were streaming it live, getting it free.
Yeah. In the old days, you used to go on tour to support album sales. Now you put out an album to have a reason to go on tour.
That, Mark? That's right. Yeah. No, and I think there's a, you know, there's a tangible quality to property, but intellectual property, it's in the air, it's in the ether. It's easy to get, you know, it doesn't feel like you're doing anything bad, like boop, boop, download in my thing and you're done. You know, but you are in essence stealing.
You know, and I've used this metaphor before, and it's a bit of a stretch, I'm not gonna lie. But if I walk into MoMA and steal a Basquiat, as you say, off the wall, and then put it in my living room and say it's mine now, that's crime, right? It's absolutely a crime. But if someone downloads and illegally Fly, it's no problem. Now that's a bit of a stretch, but Fly has generated millions of dollars and has continued to. So the value's sort of there. I think we've got to let people know that it's hard to articulate, but you're doing something wrong when it feels so right. Do you know what I'm saying? And that can't always be good.
Well, how did Hemingway define morality? It's what you feel good after?
That exactly, well said.
You know, and we think about, when we were kids, we'd go to the record store. And you'd save up your money to get one album.
Right.
You'd have like enough money for one album.
That's one of the problems that we have now, is that the record business doesn't exist because we don't have records. It's now the music business. And our intellectual property is now zeros and ones flying around the air. You can't see it. You can see a Basquiat. You have to put it under your coat to nick it, you know? But zeros and ones is an intangible thing, but it's not for the people who created that product, you know? And I'm going to go back to education, because there are schools that don't have music departments. There are schools that don't have theatrical departments. You know, I've got friends in LA that raise money to buy musical instruments for the music department, otherwise it's going to shut, right? So we're still not encouraged to be part of the creative, to be in the video game. If a kid sits at school and goes, I want to make video games, it's still got the stigma of, well, you know, you should go and work in a bank, little Timmy. And yet, how much does your business generate per year?
23 billion in the US, 100 billion worldwide.
I was at dinner with Mark yesterday. He said, intellectual property, $3 trillion a year. You know, so how can you not protect a business that is generating so much money and jobs for the country? You have to educate.
That's well said, Billy, because it's like, I think a lot of people come out here whining at these rich rock stars and blah, 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 and people just turn the channel. But you're taking a ton of jobs away from the industry. People who don't have a voice between LA and New York. That's the problem. Not Billy and I, we're fine, we're gonna do okay.
Mark,
it's the people in engineering, it's the producers of the world.
When you tour, how many people on your tour?
We employ about 6 or 7 people, depending how well the tour's doing. But you know, bus driver, it just goes on and on. There's a gigantic economic link to not protecting this property. And I want to thank all of you in this room for doing something about it. And most importantly, inviting Billy and I here tonight. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, there's a real ecosystem around the creation of that inspiration may come from one person. When you were sitting down, writing Fly, when you were sitting down writing the new Idol record, but then you think about all the people that go into that and depend on
a multi-million-dollar conglomerate to get Fly out to the people. Of employees down in Fifth Avenue in New York City. I mean, there was a lot of people that went into the working of Fly, and that's one single.
That's right.
So I know it's on the ether and you can't see it and you can't touch it, it's not tangible, blah, 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 but it is property. It is worth something and should not be free.
Yeah, we did 158 shows in support of that album. And so there's 158 venues with security staff and door staff. There's an entourage of 28 people that go on our tour. There's all the people that came and bought tickets, and the beer vendors and the hot dogs. And I mean, it's an industry. And that industry goes away if people can't write a song and earn a living off that.
That's right.
I mean, why should someone else be earning money off something that Mark or I wrote? And again, I want to reiterate that when I found out what this event was about, I was absolutely into coming, because I didn't even know there was a room full of people who cared.
But you think about all that capital expenditure that goes into supporting the talent, but it's also invested into the next wave of talent. You know, the RIAA is here, the MPAA is here. If they can't make money, if we can't make money off of video games, if you can't make money, then they're not going to invest in the next Sugar Ray. They're not going to invest in the next Billy Morrison. You know, and I think that's the tragedy. So how do you make money? How does a musician make money in today's economy compared to how you used to 20 years ago?
It's kind of funny, I have a saying that the good news today about music and recording is everybody can do it. That's also the bad news. You know, so if there's, everybody can make a record, everybody can go out. People are still making songs, bands are starting, but it's in a minute fashion. It's a smaller business than it used to be. And it's also bands, a very successful career right now is a band that can go out and sustain itself and tour. Never mind make a living. There are no careers anymore. I think the days of the Rolling Stones of the world and the legacy acts, it's falling by the wayside. And that's because of the erosion of the labels and the support system behind it. So yes, music will always be there. Hopefully it's evolving, and I'm all about evolution and change, man, but let's just all play by the rules.
Yeah.
You know, let's just play by the rules.
Well, and I think to answer your question, you have to be the kids that are making music these days are aware of the different verticals. They're aware that you don't only write a song, but you do a music video for it, and you put it on iTunes yourself, and you make a t-shirt yourself, and you go out and you play gigs yourself. And there are a lot of very clever kids crafting, I wouldn't call it a career, I hope it is for them. It's not like when we were, you know what I mean? The record company write you a couple of $1 million and off you go, and it's not like that. But creativity isn't about that check.
That's right.
You know, to start with, creativity comes from inside. So you're spurned on to find, now the kids find these verticals. T-shirt sales, you know, if you've had a couple of hits or you've got some kind of career, we translate that into, and I'm being serious now, acting jobs. Yeah. I mean, you know, I've done a bit of acting, and you get asked because you're in a band, and I like acting, it's great. Music's acting. So you become, the verticals are now way more present than they were when I was 12 and learning to play guitar.
Yeah, there is a punk rock DIY element to it, and
that's right.
It's democratized.
That's right.
I'm a big advocate of that.
Yeah.
I really think that the punk rock ethic, as you can see, is something there's something to be said for that, because you know, I don't want to feel like I have to be trained for 9 years in a university to write music. I've got something to say. It's more important what I've got to say than it is how I've been trained to say it. And more kids are doing that.
Yeah. And your point about the democratization is critical, because people can make can make a record. The technology is such that hell, even the Surreal McCoys can make a record. But how do you sustain it? And so that's the key. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for coming to Washington, D.C., speaking to policymakers. We're now going to let them do what they do best, which is play a little music. And they're going to start off with a power ballad about the notice and takedown provisions of Section 512 of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, that I think is really going to wow the house. So thank you for doing this, Mark, Billy, thank you, Chamber. Take it away. Let's do some rock and roll, baby.
Ooh, I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally.
I like the music. I am thrilled to present this award to the IP Enforcement Coordinator, Danny Marty. Danny and I were in law school together in Atlanta. I won't mention how long ago, because I like to think that we both look just the same as we did back then. But no one will be surprised that even back then, he was an already inquisitive leader whose friendly and open manner endeared him to both students and faculty. And those are skills that he has most certainly needed as our IPEC the last couple of years. So I was very excited when President Obama chose him to be the second intellectual property coordinator, although I think my exact words when I called to congratulate him were, "Really? Are you sure you want to do this?" Of course he did. In typical fashion, Danny had risen to managing partner of his law firm, a position where many people would stay for years on end, but he couldn't wait to take on a new challenge. He quickly set to work getting up to speed on everything he could in order to hit the ground running as soon as he was confirmed, which I will note was by a unanimous 98-0 vote. Danny knew he had a short period of time in which to make a difference in this position, and he's truly used every minute of it. One of his first goals was to solidify the office so that it could continue to function at a high level for many years to come. He's brought on additional staff and increased the office's public profile, as well as the relationships and interaction that the office and its staff has had in other parts of the administration. He's also taken a thoughtful approach as he works to finalize the IPEC Joint Strategic Plan, which is important to many of us in the room. He's kept an open door for stakeholders to provide ideas, input, and feedback, and really has been the voice of IP within this administration. We're very thankful for that. Danny is what we call a true believer. He's committed to advocating for strong IP policies and protections that will benefit consumers and encourage economic growth. I think I speak for all of the GIPC members when I say that it's been a true pleasure to work with him, and we all appreciate his service. Danny, I thank you for your friendship personally and for your dedication to intellectual property, and I'm very excited to present this award to you.
What a special treat to be introduced by Cameron. As you heard, we were young 20-something-year-olds when we first met at law school, and now we're older 20-something-year-olds here at the Chamber celebrating. This is incredible.
I have to make a confession here tonight. My name is Robin B., and I am an intellectual property nerd. When I first came to Washington, D.C. as a youngish lobbyist for the RIAA, fighting the good fight for intellectual property, every once in a while, I would wander over to the Library of Congress for a little boost, and I touch the case that holds the Gutenberg Press. That was so hot for me. And tonight, paying tribute to intellectual property, this is my Super Bowl. This is so exciting. So I want to thank everyone here at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and its Global Intellectual Property Center. You can't fit that on a T-shirt because we were going to do that. But we're working on it because we're the messengers of the entertainment industry. We want to thank you for all you do to support our creators, our innovators, our artists. IP policies support our artists. It's the copyright that is intrinsic to our artists and musicians and other talents so that they can share their talent and their creation with the world. And it is here that it's so exciting to be able to commence to talk about an initiative that the Creative Coalition began a couple days ago, the right to bear arts. An imaginative and expressive population being necessary to the security of a free state, the right to bear art shall not be infringed. America needs the arts as much or more than any other time in history. We need the arts to challenge, to educate, to enlighten, and to entertain, and to heal us in these divisive times. It's our responsibility to protect, defend, and promote the arts for all of our citizens. Not only are the arts one of the most significant drivers of the American economy, these are the engines that build communities from our smallest towns to our largest cities. So today, on behalf of the Creative Coalition, we formally announce the right to bear arts, our campaign for the right to maintain an imaginative and expressive population being necessary for the security of a free state. An imaginative and expressive population. Please join me in this campaign, and we thank you.
I am here to confess that I had no idea how hard you people work. I am quite ignorant of the machinations that you people are involved in, but I am well aware of the problem. And so, as an artist, God bless you all. I'm proud to be here tonight to help accept this award, to get an education, which I got tonight, first out in that room and then certainly from hearing all the speakers. I'm really here tonight in accepting this award to tell you and defend why we got this award. I am an actor, and I often ask myself, are the arts necessary? And the answer is no. However, neither is math or economics or social studies in education. They are not necessary. You can walk through the world not knowing anything about it, and you will be the sadder person for it. And what the Creative Coalition tries to do is get a group of artists together to advocate on certain issues. What is very dear to my heart is art in education, the arts in education. I think you get them at a young age, you'll have them for life, as Miss Jean Brody said. I'm going to tell you a story that's twofold. I got my equity card playing Blackfish the Indian in a touring company of Daniel Boone, okay? I had the makeup on, I had the leather outfit on, I had the hairpiece, and you are Daniel Boone, and you have taken away the only home and the only land I know. And I was very glorious and grand representing the Indians. I was about 21, 22 at the time, got my equity card, and afterwards, and this was a show that was for adults, but mainly we performed it at elementary schools in their auditorium or even their cafeterias. And when they were finished, all the kids wanted to meet the Indian. They wanted to meet Blackfish. So I'm out of my makeup, the hair is off, the makeup's off, and this walks out. And you got all these kids, Blackfish, oh God, oh my God. And I said to them, actually, I played Blackfish, but I'm actually from the Levi tribe. Okay, that's part one. Part two is sort of an amazing thing that happened more than once. We'd come and we'd meet these kids. We'd even meet adults. And over again, and it just struck me. We were in Texas. We played 36 states in 5.5 months. We were all over the country. And people would come out and say, I really liked your movie. Okay. And this happened more than once. And finally I said, do you know that this was not a movie? This was a play. We were up there live. You must understand, they could not comprehend that we were live. They had never seen it before. Now, that's just, it sounds ridiculous, but that happened. Take that a couple of steps further about where our children might be with the arts if they don't get the funding to have a show that was funded. It's a group called Theater Works USA. They got grants, they got money from the government, and we went out and did that. Well, that was years ago. I think things have dried up a little bit. I think it is so important in these days that the arts, and I know I'm speaking to the already converted because you're involved in the arts and are advocates of the arts, but advocate for arts in education, which is what we try and do, is so important. It has been dwindling. I don't know what the future holds for us because I don't know what the future holds at all come January 21st. However, we gotta keep fighting for the arts in education in our country. Stories give people empathy. You make up stories, you try and relate to those people who you're either writing about or acting in a play or writing songs about. This is the empathy that is needed in our country and our world. Thank you for the award. Thanks.
Wait, Richard, we have one more presentation. I am all things to all people, and now I'm a presenter. On behalf of the Creative Coalition and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the intellectual property community, it's my pleasure to present you with an IP Champion Award, because Richard is an advocate. He goes out there, and he's one of the most, as many of our members, the most selfless advocates you will find. It's not a pocketbook issue. Richard will go on working if there is no more arts and education. In fact, there'll be less competitors for those roles. But he's out there for your kids and my kids and our grandkids, making sure that the arts thrive and flourish in this country. So thank you, Richard.
Wow. Do I have to give a speech? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ruth. It's great to be here, and it's great to get this award, which I'm very honored to receive from you, my friend for many years. And also a great thanks to the Global Intellectual Property Center and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. I'm grateful for this award, but I'm even more appreciative of your ongoing efforts to raise awareness about the importance of copyright and intellectual property and why it is vital to protect the rights of creative people in so many businesses where America is the global leader. I'm honored to be recognized with this award, and I accept it on behalf of film and television producers everywhere who face the challenges and obstacles that Ruth just mentioned and need all the help we can get, especially in today's landscape. I have firsthand knowledge, as all film and television producers do these days, of the growing problem of piracy and for film and television business and the tens of thousands of people that these productions employ in our country.
I really didn't know what I was getting into when I got involved in tonight's evening, but what I thought would be a night of some education and learning will be a lifetime commitment on my behalf, and I promise you that. And I appreciate you guys watching that wall out here. I'll do the same out there in Hollywood. So thank you so much on behalf of Billy and I for that award. And how about some music? All right. Woo! All right. You know it. Hey! Every morning there's a halo hanging from the corner of my girlfriend's four-post bed. I know it's not mine, but I'll see if I can use it for the weekend or a one-night stand. Couldn't understand how to work it out. Once again, as predicted, left my broken heart open and you ripped it out. Oh, you know what you did. Something's got really stopped me from leaving. Turn me around again. Said we couldn't do it. You know I want to do it again. Woo! Here we go. Every morning. Every morning when I wake up. Still with us? Hey! Woo! All right. Sing! Every morning there's a halo hanging from the corner of my girlfriend's four-post bed. I know it's not mine, but I'll see if I can use it for the weekend or a one-night stand. Something's so deceiving when you stop leaving. Turn me around again. Said we couldn't do it. You know I want to do it again. Sing along. Every morning. Every morning when I wake up. She always rights the wrong for me, baby. She always rights the wrong for me. Every morning there's a halo hanging from the corner of my girlfriend's four-post bed. I know it's not mine, but I'll see if I can use it for the weekend or a one-night stand. All right. Every morning, just like that. Every morning when I wake up, ain't that hard? Every morning, woo! Turn me around again. All right. Every morning feels good. Do it again. Do it again. Every morning. One more time. Turn me around again. All right. Every morning. Thank you. You guys are so kind. Thank you guys so much, man. You're too kind and a little drunk, which is a perfect audience for me.
So I think I get to sing this because I've got an English accent, right?
Yeah, go ahead, do your thing.
I am from England, in case you hadn't figured it out yet.
Oi.
And this is a song, neither of us wrote it, but it's just one of the examples of IP at its absolute finest. This is a song that is just incredible, written by an English band. Before I tell you what it is, I want to thank Jared Parks and his team, because...
Yes. Thank you, Jared.
Let me tell you something. Me and Mark play a lot of different types of things, and we have a lot of stories of things that aren't actually that cool. And when I walked into this room, what that guy and his team had done, all you guys at the Chamber have made this a really great event, and thank you all for being here.
It's beautiful. Thank you, guys.
This song's called Wonderwall. 'Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. Sing it. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. And I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. I can hear you. Sing it a bit louder. Backbeat, the word is on the street that the fire in the heart is out. By now you should have somehow realized what it's all about. And I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
Come on, sing along.
And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead the way are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know how.
But I do, really. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonderwall. I think you can do better. Today is gonna be the day they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what not to do. And I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead the way are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. Come on, sing it with me. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, yeah,
see you, baby.
You're my wonderwall. Let's do it one more time. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonderwall. Good job, DC.
And that, my friends, is intellectual property.
Absolutely.
You guys are awesome, man. Thank you so much. Hey, Billy, do you mind playing a song you wrote?
Well, yeah, I guess so. Well, when we were figuring
I have another other number ones to play, but
We'll get to your number ones, Mark McGrath.
Okay.
You've got a few. This guy knows how to write a good song. But when we were figuring out what to play, we decided, oh God, I've never played this before. I put a solo album out last year. Here's the little story for you. Most people know that I'm Ozzy Osbourne's best friend. And so we text to each other.
Name dropper.
Days. I'll just pick that name up. It's hard to tell this story without mentioning Ozzy's name. So I disappeared, and he was texting me, where the fuck are you? What are you doing? Where are you? And I said, I'm making a record, mate. I'm going to be in the studio for a while. And the next text back to me was, well, I want to be on your record, which I thought was super cute, and I love that guy. And so we wrote this song in a hotel room. We'd just come back from the Sydney Opera House, and we were looking for the infamous drop bears that they've got out in Australia. And we sat in the hotel room, and we wrote this song, and the problem I've got is I've now got to sing it, because Ozzy sang it on my record, and them's some big shoes to fill, okay? So bear with me, I've never sung this song before.
But Billy, you're a beautiful talent.
But it's a nice song, and I'll give it a go for you guys, right? It's called Gods. Sometimes I feel like I'm so empty, and sometimes I feel like I'm alive. So many voices talking to me. Please God, just let my mind survive. Well, I see the moon and tears start falling from my eyes. Will I make it through the night? Well, I guess tonight will be another nightmare just for me. I found myself another God-shaped hole. Will someone pray for me? Pray to save my soul for me. The only gods are the gods of rock and roll. The gods of rock and roll. Believe me, don't try and understand. Just watch the shadows creeping up the walls. Stay with me, and don't wanna be alone. I need you as another nighttime falls. Well, I see the moon, and now the fear is calling me. Will I make it through the night? Well, I guess tonight will be another nightmare just for me. I found myself another God-shaped hole. Will someone pray for me? Pray to save my soul for me. The only gods are the gods of rock and roll. The gods of rock and roll. With all the songs and dances, still looking for the answers. Guess I've lost my self-control. With all these crazy voices, I'm running out of choices. I need you now, I need you now. The gods of rock and roll.
Yeah, Billy, go!
tonight will be another nightmare just for me. I found myself another God-shaped hole. Will someone pray for me? Pray to save my soul for me. The only gods are the gods of rock and roll. The gods of rock and roll. I think it sounds better when Ozzy sings it, but it weren't bad.
Dude, it's pure heart when you sing that. I love that. All right, I know everybody's out. We've had a great evening and so many award winners again. Thank you so much for having Billy and I here. But,
hey, Mark, let's play a #1 song you
do you
wrote.
mind if we play a #1 song from 1990? Is that okay? This song made all my dreams come true, my band Sugar Ray's dreams come true. And that's the reason why I'm here on stage talking to you fine people tonight. So, again, thank you so much. And this song's called Spread Your Love and Fly, oh me for I. Spread your love and fly. 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 All around the world, statues crumble for me. Who knows how long I've loved you? Everywhere I go, people stop and they see. 25 years old, my mother, God rest her soul. I just wanna fly. Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, IP. I just wanna fly. Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby. Yeah. Spread your love and fly. Spread your love and fly. Dance, a little stranger. Show me where you've been. Love can make you hostage, wanna do it again. And there's no time to think about the start or the end. We'll find out, I'm told. My mother, she told me so. I just wanna fly. Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby. I just wanna fly. Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby. I just want to fly. Spread your love and fly, yeah. I just want to spread your love and fly. Spread your love and fly. Bo diddly. Loved you, yeah. Everyone I know's been so good to me. 25 years old, my mother, God rest her soul. I just wanna fly. Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby. I just wanna fly. Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby. I just want to spread your love and fly. Spread your love and fly. I just want to spread your love and fly. Spread your love and fly. We cry. Think I got it. Early in the morning, rising to my feet. Light me up that cigarette, now strap shoes on my feet. Got to find the reason things went wrong. Got to find the reason why my money's all gone. I got a chihuahua, I can still get high. I can play the guitar like a... I just wanna fly. Put your arms around me, baby. Put your arms around me, baby. I just wanna fly. All around the world, statues crumble for me, on me for right. At IP tonight, in DC tonight. Thank you for the night in DC. I just wanna fly